1 to a 16.
Best style, 1990 to 2008. It's the zip code that made me before Christ did. Zip code made me before my mama named me, before my father left me, before I ever met Jesus. Yeah. The zip code made me. Best style, 1 to a 16. 2 Puerto Rican bodegas, 1 Chinese food spot with bulletproof glass. The zip code made me. Wallpaper in my grandmother's kitchen was yellow with roosters on it. Roosters faded in the corner from the sunlight. She kept the same wallpaper from 1979 until she died. That's where I learned to eat rice and beans on Sundays, church on Sundays. My grandmother's blessing over the plate on Sundays. Every other night, whatever my mother could put on the table between shifts. Sometimes a can of soup, sometimes cereal for dinner. Sometimes my aunt would bring over what she had made. That's how I ate the first 14 years of my life. Nobody was mad, nobody was sad about it. It was just how it was. The zip code made me eat like that. And the eating shape too I became before Christ. Before my body was a temple, my body was hungry, and the hunger was the first thing I knew about myself. The zip code made me before my mama named me, before my father left me, before I ever met Jesus. The zip code made me. Best style, 1 12 16. 2 Puerto Rican bodegas, 1 Chinese food spot with bulletproof glass. The zip code made. Marcus lived on the 3rd floor of my building. Marcus was 17 when I was 14. Marcus paid attention to me. Marcus was the first man who paid attention to me. My father had never paid attention to me. My father was a name on the birth certificate. Marcus was a face at the corner store. The corner store was the first classroom I ever loved. Nobody was teaching me. Everybody was teaching me how to walk, how to look, how to answer when the police pulled up, how to answer when the police didn't pull up, how to keep my hands where they could be seen, how to know which older kid to trust, how to know which older kid to avoid. The zip code taught me every one of those things before the church ever got to teach me anything. And by the time the church got to me, the zip code had already made most of the man. The church will spend the next 15 years unmaking. The zip code made me before my mama named me, before my father left me, before I ever met Jesus. The zip code made me. Best style, 1 12 16. 2 Puerto Rican bodegas, 1 Chinese food spot with bulletproof glass. The zip code made me. 1 12 16. 1990 to 2008. 18 years. The zip code is making me. Before Christ ever showed up to remake track 1, that's the start where I actually started. Not where the testimony wants me to start. The zip code made me. Hustler, gangster, trapper, killer. Names I answered to before I answered to my own. The first name they called me at 13 was Little Man. Marcus called me that. It felt like being seen. It was also being marked. Little man meant you belong to somebody. Little man meant somebody was watching you grow into the shape of the block. By 15, they called me money, because I could count fast, because I could keep track of the numbers Marcus couldn't quite hold in his head. By 17, they called me Ghost, because I moved through places where I shouldn't have been, because nobody could ever pin me to a specific corner. By 19, they called me Cheddar. By 21, they called me my full first name, which felt different, which felt like maybe I had earned the right to be called what my mother had named me, which also felt like I had earned the right by doing the things the names before it had required. Every name they gave me was a promotion. Every promotion was a deeper commitment to the shape they were building. Names they sold me. Little man, money, Ghost, Cheddar.
Names they sold me.
Before I ever heard the name Jesus. said over me. Names they sold me. Little man, money, ghost, cheddar.
Names they sold me.
Every name was a shape. Every shape was a smaller room. Names they sold. My grandmother knew my birth name. My grandmother refused to use anything else. My grandmother would say my full first name, middle name included. Every single time she called me over, even in the middle of a fight, even when she was mad at me. Even at 14 when I was already too tall for her to hit, she would say my birth name in full, cause she knew what the block was doing. She knew before I did. She was fighting the name. And every Sunday morning when she took me to church, she was fighting the name. Every dinner she cooked me, she was fighting the name. Every time she called my birth name, she was calling me back to something Marcus and money and ghosts couldn't touch. It took me 20 years to hear what she was doing. It took me 20 years to understand that the church had a name for me too. Grandma, if you can hear this, you were the first person to speak my name.
Names they sold me.
Little man, money, ghost, cheddar.
Names they sold me.
Before I ever heard the name, Jesus said over me.
Names they sold me.
Little man, money, ghost, cheddar.
Names they sold me.
Every name was a shape. Every shape was a smaller room.
Names they sold me.
Every name they sold me. Every shape those names made me become. My grandmother said my birth name every day. Christ says something else. Track 3 is when Christ says it. First time Christ came, I was 22. I was at my grandmother's house on a Tuesday afternoon. I had come by to bring her the money. She had asked me not to give her. She had asked me not to give her the money because she knew where the money came from. I gave her the money anyway. She took it and put it in a purse and sat me down at the kitchen table. She made me a cup of coffee. She didn't say anything for the first 5 minutes. Then she said one sentence. She said, you don't have to keep being who they made you into. That was it. That was the whole sermon. I sat there for another hour. She didn't say anything else. She just poured me another cup of coffee. And when I got up to leave, she said my birth name, middle name included. And I walked home from her apartment through Bed-Stuy at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. And every step home, something was moving in me that hadn't moved before. I didn't have language for it yet. I didn't call it Christ that day. I didn't call it anything. I just knew something was different by the time I got to my own building. Something was different. I couldn't have told you. I couldn't have told you. I sat on the stoop of my building until midnight, just sitting, just breathing. For the first time in 8 years, my mind was quiet. That was Christ. I didn't know it was Christ then. It was Christ. 2 weeks later, I was at Grace Baptist for the first time. I hadn't planned to go. I just been walking past the church on Sunday morning. Yeah, Usher was standing on the steps. He was in his 60s. He was wearing a black suit and a white shirt. He looked at me and he said, welcome home. He didn't know me. He didn't know I hadn't been in the church since I was 7. He didn't know I was carrying 8 years of the block in my body. He didn't know I had money in my pocket that shouldn't have been mine. He said, welcome home, like it was the most obvious thing anybody had ever said. Because to him it was. Because to him the church door was for people like me. In the morning I walked in to Grace Baptist, and I sat in the back pew. The choir was singing a song I didn't know, and I cried through the entire service, and nobody bothered me while I cried. And that was Christ coming for the first time. I was a caterpillar in the streets. Nobody called me a caterpillar then. They They called me by names that were sold to me by men who had been called those names by other men. I ate what the cocoon fed me. I grew inside the shape the cocoon required. For years, I thought the cocoon was the whole world. Yeah. 4 years after Christ came the first time. 2016, I was 26. I had been rapping at the church coffee house on Wednesday nights for 2 years. Someone recorded one of my songs on their phone. Someone put it on YouTube. Someone watched it. Someone watched it a lot. By the summer, I had 11,000 followers. By the fall, a man from a Christian record label was in my inbox. By December, I was sitting across from him at a coffee shop in Manhattan. He wore a tan blazer over a black t-shirt. He was 39, he was white. He talked about my testimony like he had lived it. He talked about the market opportunity. He talked about the demographic we could reach. He talked about my gritty authenticity like it was a value proposition. He put a contract on the table. He said I could have it back next week. He said I could take my time. He said he understood if I needed to pray about it. The contract, tan blazer, black t-shirt. Contract, Christian rap deal at a Manhattan coffee shop. The contract, he said my testimony would sell. He said my gritty authenticity was a market opportunity. The contract, and I signed it on Tuesday. I called my grandmother that night. I told her about the contract. I told her about the money. I told her about the label. She was quiet for a long time. And she said, who owns your story now? I said I did. She said, read the contract again. I read it that night. The contract on my next 4 albums. The contract on my likeness for 6 years. The contract on my podcast rights, my single license, and my publishing splits. The contract had a morality clause that I did not understand until year 3. My grandmother had understood the whole contract from one sentence. I read her over the phone. She didn't tell me not to sign it. She just said, who owns your story now? And I signed it on Tuesday anyway. Because the money was real, because the platform was real. Because at 26, I could not tell the difference between an opportunity and a cage. The contract, tan blazer, black t-shirt. Contract, Christian rap deal at a Manhattan coffee shop. Contract, he said my testimony would sell. He said my gritty authenticity was a market opportunity. The contract, and I signed it on Tuesday, December 6th, 2016, Manhattan coffee shop, tan blazer, black t-shirt. I signed the contract, and I did not know yet that the cocoon had a door, or that I had just walked through it. You're one of the contract. Book deal. Podcast. Stage.
Everything move fast.
Nothing moved by accident. Yeah, the book deal came in March. Ghostwriter attached. Advance was 6 figures. I had never seen 6 figures in my life. The publisher wanted the testimony as a memoir. The ghostwriter interviewed me for 8 hours. The ghostwriter took my grandmother's kitchen and the coffee shop in Manhattan and turned them into chapters with titles like Redemption Rising in the corner to the cross. I read the manuscript in June. I did not recognize the man in the book. The man in the book was cleaner than me. The man in the book had answers I had not yet earned. The man in the book cried at the right moments and never cursed and never doubted after chapter 4. I sent the manuscript back with notes. The publisher sent it back with the notes removed. The publisher said the market wanted the art without the mess. The publisher said readers would trust the mess in interviews but wanted resolution in the book. The book came out in October. It sold well. The man on the cover looked like me. The man inside the book did not.
Book deal podcast stage.
Book deal podcast stage. The version of me that fits on the stage is not the version that lives in my body.
Book deal podcast stage.
book deal, podcast stage. The industry needed a shape, I gave them a shape. The shape was smaller than I was, and the shape sold more than the real thing would have. Yeah. The podcast launched in July, 50 episodes in year one. Interviews with pastors, with recovered addicts, with formerly incarcerated men, with athletes who have found Christ. Every interview followed the same arc, the rock bottom, the moment of clarity, the transformation, the present tense witness. I got so good at leading guests through the arc that some of them thanked me for helping them tell their story better than they had ever told it. Some of them left interviews saying they had felt God in the conversation. I would smile and thank them, and I would go back to my hotel room after taping, and I would sit on the bed, and I would wonder if I still knew what I actually believed, or if I had become so fluent in the shape of testimony that I could produce the shape without needing the substance to be present in me anymore. The stage was the third thing. 2 nights a week for 18 months. Every city looked the same. Every crowd wanted the same 3 songs. Every green room had the same brand of bottled water. I could deliver the show in my sleep by month 6. That was the problem. I was delivering the show in my sleep. Book deal, podcast stage. The version of me that fits on the stage is not the version that lives in my body. Book deal, podcast stage. Book deal, podcast stage. The industry needed a shape, I gave them a shape. The shape was smaller than I was, and the shape sold more than the real thing would have. Then Christ came into the cocoon, not to make me a better caterpillar, not to make the cocoon a nicer cocoon. He came to unmake me and remake me. He came to say the shape I was pressed into was never the shape he made. Not to the audience, to the industry. This one is for the room I've been standing in for 4 years. They want the testimony, not the man. They want the shape, not the substance. They want the moment I got saved. They don't want the Tuesday, I doubt it. They want the corner to the cross art. They don't want the corner I'm still standing on. They want the version they can market. They don't want the version God is still making. Yeah. The industry does not want me. The industry wants the shape of my story that fits on the book cover. The industry wants the 20-second clip that played before the sermon. The industry wants the version that ends with the crowd standing up. The industry does not want the 20-second clip of me sitting in a hotel room at 3 a.m. wondering if I still know how to pray. The industry does not want the version that ends with me not knowing. The industry does not want the version that ends with silence. The industry wants the version that ends with a Bible verse. The industry wants the version that ends with a chorus. The industry wants the version that ends with an altar call. The industry has never once asked me what I actually think about anything. The industry has asked me what I think will sell. The industry has asked me what will move the algorithm. The industry has asked me what will get the podcast booked. Nobody. The industry has asked me if my faith is intact. Nobody. In the industry has asked me if I'm sleeping. Nobody. In the industry has asked me if I still love my wife. The industry does not want me. The industry wants the testimony, and the testimony has been living apart from me for 18 months. They want the testimony, not the man. They want the shape, not the substance. They want the shape, they want the moment I got saved. They don't want the Tuesday, I doubt it. They want the corner to the cross art. They don't want the corner I'm still standing on. They want the version they can market. They don't want the version God is still making. My wife noticed before I did. She said I started performing at home. She said the voice I used on the podcast was showing up and down. She said said the way I talked about God had changed. She said it had gotten smoother, she said it had gotten more professional. She said she missed the man who used to stumble through his prayers. She said she missed the man who admitted he did not know. She said the man she married had been a work in progress. She said the man she was living with had become a finished product. She said she wanted the work in progress back. She said the finished product was not the man she had covenanted with. She said this at our kitchen table on a Sunday night. She said this without raising her voice. She said this because she loved me enough to tell me what nobody in the industry would ever tell me. And I sat there and I could not argue with her, because everything she said was true. And that was the first crack in the cocoon. My wife's voice at the kitchen table, saying the industry had made me into somebody she did not marry. They want the testimony, not the man. They want the shape, not the substance. They want the shape, they want the moment I got saved. They don't want the Tuesday, I doubt it. They want the corner to the cross, they don't want the corner I'm still standing on. They want the version they can market. They don't want the version God is still making. My wife at the kitchen table on a Sunday night. The industry does not know her name. The industry does not know she is the reason this album exists. The industry wanted the testimony. She wanted the man. This is the you of the album. Kendrick called his you. I do not have a better name for it than what this is. This is me talking to myself. This is the mirror in the hotel bathroom at 2:37 a.m. This is the version that does not get released as a single. Who do you think you are? You have been performing forgiveness for 4 years, and you have not once actually forgiven the man on the birth certificate. You have been performing surrender for 4 years, and you have not surrendered a single thing that the industry wanted from you. You have been performing intimacy with your wife on Instagram, and you have not initiated a real conversation with her in 6 weeks. You have been performing intimacy with your grandmother on the podcast, and you have not called her in 19 days. You have been performing prayer at every altar call, and you have not prayed a private prayer that was not composed for eventual public use since the tour started. You have been performing scripture, and you have been using scripture as content. You have been performing testimony, and you have been using testimony as product. You have been performing brotherhood with the other Christian rappers on the label, and you have been envying every one of their streaming numbers behind their backs. You have been performing humility in interviews, and you have been reading every comment section for hours looking for validation. You have been performing gratitude on stage, and you have been resentful of every green room that was smaller than what the headliner got. Who do you think you are? You are not the man on the album cover.
You are not the man
in the ghostwritten memoir.
You are not the man
in the brand kit. You are the man standing in a hotel bathroom at 2:37 a.m. who cannot pray without composing. And that man has been hiding for 4 years. And that man is the one Christ actually died for. And that man is the one you have been actively avoiding meeting in the mirror since you signed the contract. I'm standing in front of the mirror right now. The mirror is showing me the man, not the product. The man is exhausted. The man is angry. The man is somebody I do not want to look at. The man is who Christ came for, not the product. The man, and I've been running from the man for 4 years. And Christ has been waiting for me to stop running for 4 years. And Christ is standing in the mirror with the man right now. And neither of them is going anywhere until I sit down. So I sat down on the tile floor of the hotel bathroom at 2:37 a.m. and I stopped composing. And I said the first honest sentence I had said in 18 months. I said, I do not know if I still know you. And I waited for Christ to correct me, and Christ did not correct me. Christ said, I know. And that was it. That was the whole conversation. Christ said, I know. And something in me let go. And I sat on the bathroom floor for another hour. And I did not compose anything. And I did for the first time in 4 years. 2:37 a.m.
Hotel bathroom.
Nashville.
Nashville.
That is where the second cocoon started cracking open. Not on stage, not in the pulpit, on the bathroom floor of a Marriott, with Christ saying 2 words: I know. Room 1447, Marriott, Nashville. Tuesday night after the show, the crowd left the arena 40 minutes ago. I am alone in the room now. The reckoning starts here, yeah. The show is good tonight, the show is always good. I have been doing the show for 18 months. The show is muscle memory now. The show does not require me to be present. The show requires me to hit my marks. The show requires me to say the words that always get the crowd to stand up. The show requires me to close with the same 3 songs. The show requires me to look moved during the altar call. The show requires me to be moved during the altar call. I no longer know the difference between being moved and looking moved. The two have become the same performance in my body. I did the altar call tonight and 47 people came forward. The tour manager will report those numbers to the label in the morning. The label will use those numbers to justify the next tour. The next tour will require me to do the altar call the same way. Someday somebody will notice that I have not personally cried during the altar call in 6 months. That will be a bad day for the label. That will be a good day for me, because it will be the day I have to stop performing the moment I am supposed to be having. Hotel room tour stop. Hotel room tour stop. Room 1447, Marriott, Nashville. Hotel room tour stop. The show ended 40 minutes ago. Hotel. The crowd went home. Hotel room tour stop. I am alone with the man I have been avoiding for 18 months. Hotel room tour stop. I opened the Bible in the hotel room tonight. I do not remember the last time I opened it outside of preparing for a show. That is the thing I have not been able to say out loud. The Bible has become a resource I mine for content. The Bible has stopped being a place I meet God. I opened it tonight to Psalm 51. I did not open it because I was preparing for anything. I opened it because I did not know where else to go. Created me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. I sat on the edge of the bed and I read that verse 30 times in a row. The room got quiet, the phone stayed on the nightstand. I did not check the strings, I did not check anything. I read Psalm 51 verse 10 30 times, and by the time I got to the 30th reading, I was crying. And it was the first time in 18 months I had cried without an audience present. And that was the first thing that had felt real since I signed a contract in December 2016. Room 1447, hurry up, Nashville. That was where the reckoning started. Hotel room tour stop. Hotel room tour stop. Room 1447, Marriott, Nashville. Hotel room tour stop. The show ended 40 minutes ago. Hotel. The crowd went home. Hotel room tour stop. I am alone with the man I have been avoiding for 18 months. Hotel room tour stop. Psalm 51 verse 10. Created me a clean heart, oh God. Read 30 times. On the edge of the bed, in room 1447, Marriott, Nashville. That was where I met Christ for the second time. Somewhere between year 2 and year 3 of the contract, I stopped being a person and became a catalog. I have a brand kit, 14 pages, fonts, colors, tone of voice, guidelines, do's and don'ts, hashtag strategies. The brand kit tells me which words I am allowed to say on Instagram. The brand kit tells me which words devalue the brand. The brand kit was made by a marketing agency in Nashville. The brand kit cost the label $18,000 a year to maintain. The brand kit has a section called Voice Pillars. There are 5 voice pillars: redemption, grit, faith, culture, truth. Every post I make is supposed to sit inside one of the 5 pillars. The brand kit does not have a pillar for doubt. The brand kit does not have a pillar for exhaustion. The brand kit does not have a pillar for the marriage almost failing in year 2. The brand kit does not have a pillar for the night I call my grandmother crying about the numbers. The brand kit does not have a pillar for the man I actually am. The brand kit is 5 pillars for the man the market wants me to be, and I've been living inside those 5 pillars for 4 years. Anything that does not fit inside the pillars does not exist as far as the brand is concerned. And by month 23 of that arrangement, I had stopped existing outside the brand. I had become the brand. I had become the product the brand kit was selling.
I became the product.
I became the product.
14 pages of brand kit.
5 pillars I fit
I
inside.
became the product.
I became the
The
product.
man is gone.
The product is what the streaming platforms play.
I became the product.
The marketing team calls me an artist brand. The marketing team means it as a compliment. The marketing team does not hear what they are saying when they say it. An artist brand is not a person. An artist brand is a monetizable identity. The distinction matters. Kirk Franklin is a person who makes music.
Kirk Franklin.
The brand is a monetizable identity. Lecrae is a person who makes music. The brand is a monetizable identity. Both of them have had to figure out how to keep the person alive inside the brand. Some of them have figured it out, some of them have not. I did not figure it out until year 4. I did not figure it out until my wife had told me 12 different times that I had disappeared. I did not figure it out until my grandmother said one Sunday afternoon, I do not know the man on the podcast. That was the sentence that finally landed. My grandmother did not recognize the man on the podcast. My grandmother had known me for 31 years. My grandmother had watched me get saved at 22 at her kitchen table. My grandmother did not recognize the man the industry had built on top of that testimony. And that was when I understood what had actually happened. The industry had not corrupted my testimony. The industry had made a different man to carry the testimony better than the actual man could. And the actual man had gone into hiding, and I did not know where he was hiding, and I did not know how to get him back.
I became the product.
I became the product.
14 pages of brand kit.
5 pillars I fit
I
inside.
became the product.
I became the
The
product.
man is
The
gone.
product is what the streaming platforms play.
I became the product.
The COCOON looked like the sky. I flew into it thinking I was flying into the open. It closed behind me the same way the first one had. But this time, the closing was quieter. This time, the closing came with applause.
3:14 a.m. I am checking Spotify for the 7th time tonight. The track has 84.7 more streams than it had at midnight. I feel nothing. I check again in 20 minutes. I did not think it would become this. I did not think the numbers would matter this much. When the first album dropped in 2017, I checked the numbers twice a day and I laughed at how much I was checking. Now it is 3 a.m. on a Tuesday and I've checked 7 times since I got in bed. My wife is asleep next to me. The phone light is under the cover so it does not wake her. The screen brightness is turned all the way down. I know exactly how to hide what I am doing. I have been hiding this for 8 months. The numbers are the thing I check first in the morning. The numbers are the thing I check at every meal. The numbers are the thing I check when I go to the bathroom. The numbers are the last thing I check before I close my eyes. And the numbers never satisfy. When the numbers go up, I want them to go up more. When the numbers go down, I feel like I have failed. When the track underperforms, I take it personally. When the track outperforms, I move on to checking whether the next one will. The numbers have replaced something in me that used to be prayer. The numbers have replaced something in me that used to be quiet. The numbers have replaced something in me that used to be enough. Streaming numbers at 3 a.m. Strictly streaming Streaming numbers at 3 a.m. Under the covers so my wife does not see.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
Refresh, refresh, refresh.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
The number is never enough.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
Christian rap addiction that nobody has a name for.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
I have not been alone with God at 3 a.m. in 18 months. I have been alone with the phone, there is a difference. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. because I could not sleep, and I would sit at the kitchen table and I would pray. Now I wake up at 3 a.m. and I reach for the phone before my feet hit the floor. The phone tells me what my streams did in the last 4 hours. The phone tells me who quoted my last podcast episode. The phone tells me what my competitor Christian rappers dropped this week. The phone tells me who is winning the algorithm today. The phone tells me none of the things I used to hear at the kitchen table at 3 a.m. The phone tells me none of the things God used to say to me at 3 a.m. Before the phone became what I reached for first. The prayer time did not stop because I stopped believing. The prayer time stopped because the phone was faster. The phone was more responsive. The phone gave me numbers immediately. God has never given me numbers. God gave me presents. I traded presents for numbers 18 months ago, and I have been an addict ever since. And then the industry knows I am an addict. The industry built the app I am addicted to. The industry sells the addiction back to me as evidence I am winning.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m. Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
Under the covers so my wife does not see.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
Refresh, 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 refresh.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
The number is never enough.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
Christian rap addiction that nobody has a name for.
Streaming numbers at 3 a.m.
I emerged. The old shape fell away. The wings were still wet. I thought I had made it out. I hadn't. The industry was waiting. They had built a second cocoon while I was in the first one. They had built it in the shape of freedom. The second time Christ came was not like the first. The first time was at my grandmother's kitchen table. The second time was on the bathroom floor of a Marriott. The first time I did not know him. The second time I had been telling everybody about him for 4 years and had forgotten how to know him. Both times he came for the man. Not the shape the world was building for the man. The man. Christ did not tell me to lead the industry. I wanna name the plane. I was expecting him to tell me to lead. I was expecting the mountaintop moment, altar call, cinematic version. The version where the recovering addict smashes the bottle. The version where the businessman quits the corporate job to plant a church. The version where Christ says burn it down. Christ did not say burn it down. Christ said something quieter that took longer for me to understand. Christ said the industry is not what needs to die. Christ said the man who thought he was the product needs to die. Christ said you can stay in the industry as a butterfly. Christ said, or you can lead the industry as a product. Christ said, either way the man is gonna have to die. Christ said, and I am the one doing the killing. Christ said, and what I am killing is not what you have been trying to preserve. I sat with those sentences on the bathroom floor for another 40 minutes, and I understood what he was saying. The industry was not the enemy. The man's attempt to survive the industry as the product was the enemy. And Christ was going to unmake the product. And Christ was going to leave me standing in the industry as a man. And a man was going to have to figure out how to fly inside a cocoon that would never stop wanting the product from him.
The second coming of Christ inside me
was not what the sermon told me to expect.
The second coming of Christ inside me
was Christ saying the industry can't stay.
The second coming of Christ inside me
was Christ saying the product has to die.
The second coming of Christ inside me
was Christ letting the man man come home. I flew home from Nashville on Wednesday morning. I did not sleep on the plane, I sat in the aisle seat, and I looked out the window past the man next to me for 4 hours. I got home at 3 p.m. My wife was in the kitchen. She looked at me, she saw something different in my face. She did not ask what happened, she waited. I sat down at the kitchen table and I told her everything. The bathroom floor, the 2:37 a.m., the 2 words, the 40 minutes of understanding. She did not say anything for a long time. Then she said, welcome home. Same 2 words, the usher at Grace Baptist had said to me at 22. Same, welcome home. Same door opening, except this time the door was in my own kitchen. And this time I had not been gone from a church, I had been gone from myself. And my wife had known where I was hiding, and my wife had been waiting for 4 years for the door to open. And on that Wednesday afternoon in that kitchen, the door opened. And the man walked back into his own house, and Christ walked in with him. The second coming of Christ inside me was not what the sermon told me to expect. The second coming of Christ inside me was Christ saying the industry can stay. The second coming of Christ inside me was Christ saying the product has to die. The second coming of Christ inside me was Christ letting the man come home. Christ came for me a second time. He didn't tell me to leave the industry. He didn't tell me to burn it down. He told me to know the difference. The butterfly's job is not to escape the cocoon. The butterfly's job is to know that the cocoon is not the sky. I am a butterfly, not because the industry named me one, not because the streaming numbers named me one, not because the book on the shelf named me one, not because the podcast named me one. Christ named me one. And Christ named me one before any other platforms existed. Christ named me one at my grandmother's kitchen table on a Tuesday afternoon when I was 22. Christ named me one on the bathroom floor in a Marriott at 2:37 a.m. when I was 30. Christ has been naming me the same thing for 8 years. The industry has been renaming me the whole time. The industry has renamed me hundreds of times. Every album cover was a new name. Every brand kit refresh was a new name. Every podcast rebrand was a new name. Every tour poster was a new name. Christ has been calling me one name across every one of those renamings. And I cannot hear the one name over the noise of the hundreds. I can hear it now. The one name is louder than all of them combined. The one name has been louder the whole time. I just could not hear it while I was performing the hundreds. Now I can't. The cocoon was never the sky. The cocoon was never the sky. The industry is not the sky. The platform is not the sky. The streaming numbers are not the sky. The album cover is not the sky. The stage is not the sky. The book deal is not the sky. The cocoon was never the sky. Christ is the sky. And I am flying in the shape Christ made me, above the cocoon that never was and never will be. The sky. Beat switch coming. The album closes on the other side of this switch. I am a butterfly. Not because the industry named me one. Not because the streaming numbers named me one. Not because the book on the shelf named me one. Not because the podcast named me one. Christ named me one. And Christ named me one before any of the platforms existed. Christ named me one at my grandmother's kitchen table on a Tuesday afternoon when I was 22. Christ named me one on a bathroom floor in a Marriott at 237 AM when I was 30. Christ has been naming me the same thing for 8 years. The industry has been renaming me the whole time. The industry has renamed me hundreds of times. Every album cover was a new name. Every rebrand kit refresh was a new name. Every podcast rebrand was a new name. Every tour poster was a new name. Christ has been calling me one name across every one of those renamings, and I could not hear the one name over the noise of the hundreds. I can hear it now. The one name is louder than all of them combined. The one name has been louder the whole time. I just could not hear it while I was performing the hundreds. Now I can. The cocoon was never the sky. The cocoon was never the sky. The industry is not the sky. The platform is not the sky. Streaming numbers are not the sky. The album cover is not the sky. Stage is not the sky. The book deal is not the sky. The cocoon was never the sky. Christ is the sky, and I am flying in the shape Christ made me, above the cocoon that never was and never will be the sky. Beat switch coming. The album closes on the other side of this switch.